You're right on time for Hope TV News Watch on this 19th day of November 2024, a day that the men are being celebrated and a day that is also coinciding with the World Toilets Day. Such a paradox. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kennedy Kimani and signing for us tonight is Boniface Moridi. Now, as the world marks International Men's Day today, there is a growing call for men to confront issues related to mental health and financial well-being. Financial coach Amos Ngahu highlights how financial stress can negatively affect men's mental health, especially as many feel the pressure to be the primary breadwinners. This day not only celebrates men's contributions, but also encourages open discussions on issues like mental health.
It's a special day to just appreciate you as a man, and most importantly, to just do a bit of challenge, to make you reflect on where you are. And I would like us to start internally, start being intentional about every decision you make. Having been a coach for close to 2 decades now, I have learned something that men, we are not proactive per se. A good percentage of women will go look out for services, look for lessons, look for talks. But men, we are a bit hesitant, and we are not intentional about pursuing some of the decisions we are making. So I'd want to challenge you, be a bit intentional. Sit down with yourself, even as we go into the festive season. There's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot of peer pressure for you to drive a certain car, to spend in a certain way. But I'll tell you, first of all, sit down, do a self-audit. Ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing right now? And whatever I'm doing, is it sustainable? The people I'm supporting, are they focusing on what they can get from me or what I can put in them? Because at the end of the day, we are not here for long. We don't have much time. We've been, if you read the scripture, it talks about how to number your days. Are you leaving a legacy? And it's not about what you leave for people, it's about what you leave in them. So men, take up the challenge, be intentional, seek other men. And even as we celebrate this with the event on Saturday on 23rd, we are asking men to come as they are. Be intentional about friendship, which is mateship. Be intentional about your masculinity. Be confident enough to also now find people that you can mentor. So thank you.
Happy International Men's Day to all the gents. Still at it on the Men with Disabilities Society of Kenya is now calling on legislators to develop policies that are specific to their needs and fast-track the enactment of those that have been tabled to ensure issues affecting men are properly addressed. Led by its chairperson Benson Isaboke, the society has raised concerns over marginalization and discrimination while seeking societal needs. While marking the International Men's Day, the group has also stressed on the need to create safe spaces for those living with disabilities to share their challenges without fear of being discriminated.
We want to echo or to put forward our call from all the institutions, agencies, to streamline policies that takes back the track of a boy child and amend the society. More so us who are seriously marginalized persons with disability. It's very unfortunate to mention, as many with disabilities struggle, we don't have any program that supports them to stand with their families, which we call financial support or social protection aspect, that is specifically set aside for men with disabilities. But looking at the other end, we talk about we have youth fund that supports the youth, be it you have disability or not. We have women fund that supports all women, be it you have disability or not. But we are men left at their own world. That is why men are experiencing serious challenges in their homes, because a man must provide for the family. And if you don't provide, then you will not be have a peaceful home.
Moving on swiftly, and President William Ruto has urged his cabinet to take full responsibility in serving the people within respective ministries and departments. Speaking during the signing of performance contracts for cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries for the 2024-2025 financial year at State House, Nairobi on Tuesday, the head of state noted The performance contracts will serve as benchmarks to assess his government's performance and success. Our reporter Alice Diana with more on this.
President William Ruto on Tuesday signed fresh performance contracts with his cabinet secretaries and their principal secretaries at State House Nairobi, where he directed them to deliver on their mandates without delays and excuses. During the performance contract signing, the president noted that the CSs ought to take personal responsibilities in ensuring the success of their ministries.
I expect each cabinet secretary to take personal responsibility for achieving the targets outlined in their ministry's contracts. There is no room, ladies and gentlemen, for excuse or delay or failure. Accountability must cascade through all levels of ministries, departments, and agencies to individual officers.
The president stated that the performance contracts will serve as a scorecard at the end of each financial year, allowing the cabinet secretaries to reflect on their ministry's achievements and failures.
At the end of the financial year, each cabinet secretary will receive a performance report card reflecting their ministry's achievements. These scorecards will ensure that performance contracting is not seen as a meaningless ritual. This scorecard will carry recognition, rewards, and sanctions which will be applied without fail. Excellence, integrity, efficiency, and consistency will be rewarded, while failure, negligence, waste, and misconduct will promptly invite corrective action.
The head of state, who committed to fostering a performance-driven culture in his government to ensure effective delivery of his administration's agenda, warned that all CSS must collaborate under a single government strategy to improve efficiency. At the same time, the president directed the Treasury to disburse funds without delay to enhance service delivery across all ministries.
To ensure seamless implementation, the National Treasury will disburse available budgetary allocations on time. Lack of funds or delay in their release should not be an excuse for failure to serve citizens. Consequently, our planning, budgeting, and execution functions must operate in closer harmony to achieve this goal.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, who is mandated to oversee the cabinet secretaries, reiterated his commitment to working closely with all public officials to ensure the government delivers on its mandate for the welfare of Kenyans.
In the context of a very vibrant democracy that Kenya is, going forward, we have to work harder, faster, more efficiently, if we have to keep pace with a very vibrant democracy that our country has become. Your Excellency, I'm happy to be part of this, and I promise you from where I sit to support you and to work with all the other colleagues as you lead us to deliver a better Kenya, a more inclusive Kenya, a Kenya that is sensitive to the needs of its people, and a government that is sensitive and responds to the needs and aspirations of the people of Kenya.
Today's signing of the ministerial performance contracts is the second one under President William Ruto, with the first one being in August 2023. However, a large majority of the cabinet secretaries were signing their first contracts following their appointment mid this year after the president dissolved his first cabinet amid the countrywide youth-led anti-government protests. Alice Diana, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you so much, Alice, for that report. President William Ruto has today bid farewell to outgoing U.S. Ambassador Meg Whitman at State House in Nairobi. The president has thanked Ambassador Whitman for her dedicated efforts in strengthening the partnership between Kenya and the United States over the years. He noted that the two countries have shared values of democracy, the rule of law, and freedom, which have been the cornerstone of their robust diplomatic relations for the past 60 years. Now, according to the head of state, in the last 2 years, these ties have been elevated to the status of major non-NATO ally, marking a significant milestone in the bilateral relationship. President Ruto has expressed Kenya's deep appreciation for Ambassador Whitman's commitment to advancing the Kenya-US partnership. Away from that, and heads of civil servants unions now say that no taxpayers' money will be used to pay for their comprehensive medical cover under the new health scheme. Social Health Authority addressing the press at KMPDU offices in Nairobi. The union's heads proposed that the government should instead use the funds in the civil servants' medical benefits they have been setting aside since 2012 under the National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIF). The unions now maintain that the comprehensive cover must continue past 21st of November 2024, despite an earlier agreement to have it end on Thursday this week.
We are not ready to be covered by any private insurer. That's why when we met with the government, we made our demands be very clear, and we agreed we are pulling together the funds. We are not looking for any new fund from the government. These monies we used to enjoy are there, and we are just coming out strongly to protect them. There were some people who are trying to bring out the views that we are trying to extort the public by getting more money from the taxpayers' money. No. We have 6 billion fund, which we have been implementing to cover civil servants. This is the money we want to protect using our regulation. And after protecting this money, we also want to have a say where this money is going to be invested. And what we have said, this money must be invested in an insurer managed by the government, which is offering cover for the civil servants, and this one is none other than SHA.
The aspect of insurance is to pull together. The other thing that we came out very strongly to indicate is that we did not need the government to go and procure this in a private insurance company. We wanted it to be managed within the government fund, because there's no value in government giving a private insurance 100 billion. We believe that if all these allowances from the civil servants are also managed here, then probably government will find it reasonable even to reduce these deductions that are put for SHA.
And again, if there is any profit made, let that profit go to Kenyans through that fund.
Now, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba has warned stakeholders in the teaching sector against being involved in examination malpractice during the ongoing KCSE exams. The CS made the remarks at Rabuor School in the Kadibo area of Kisumu County, where he launched the use of 4 classrooms for grade 9, which costed 4 million shillings to be constructed.
The KCSE that is ongoing, there have been a few attempts on trying to, cheat, but some of them have been nipped at the bud, and a number of them have been arrested. Those ones who have attempted, I'm sure you've seen from the media that I think around Homa Bay, 10 of them were arrested, and they were taken to court, and they were given a cash bail of 1 million shillings or a bond of 2 million. That is a very serious thing. So if you want to start attempting in any malpractice, just know that the law will take its course and you will be dealt with accordingly to the law. And we've requested the courts to facilitate fast tracking of the hearing of these cases so that the penalties that are available are meted out to the culprits as soon as possible. When the Presidential Working Party received submissions that junior school needs to be domiciled in primary schools, an assessment was done for purposes of grade 9, and it was determined by the ministry that we need to do at least 16,000 classrooms. So these classrooms were then started to be constructed using a devolved model, where the resources were devolved from the headquarters and sent to the school accounts based on the number of classrooms that you are allocated. For instance, this school was allocated 4 classrooms, so 4 million shillings was sent. And because of that, the construction was done on record time, as you can see, and the classrooms are well done, they are completed. The books have been distributed, and we've agreed with all the head teachers that although schools may be closed, they, head teachers or their deputies, will remain in school to receive these books all the way to December 15th, so that in January when we open, the students will receive the allocation of books at the ratio of 1:1 per subject per child, so that there is not going to be a requirement for parents to be asked to contribute or to give any money towards purchase of books for their students.
Now, detectives from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission have arrested 2 suspects for allegedly attempting to extort 2 million shillings from the Director General of a state corporation. The suspects, Francis Onyango and Abigail Janai, demanded the money in exchange for withdrawing a court petition accusing the Director General of embezzling public funds. According to EACC spokesperson Eric Ngumbi, the arrests occurred during an operation at Bond's restaurant in Nairobi on Friday. Well, it is exactly 20 minutes past the top of the hour. Time now for a short break, but immediately after, I'll be back with the business and sports news. Stick around.
Coming soon. This November.
He's the God who raised up Moses in a palace only to use him in the wilderness, and raised up Joseph in the wilderness only to use him in a palace.
Young person, God is at work within your heart. What does it say? He is at work. It's Him who is at work in you.
If you are going to be successful in the service of God, it calls for sacrifice.
We get to appraise what God is doing, and by His invitation, partner with Him.
Come on, keep moving. He's inspiring you to challenge that which seems impossible.
What He would require of us is to declare, send me Lord, regardless of our background.
Only on Hope TV.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV News. Now let's get down to business. And the national government has launched an ambitious program to restore Kenya as a top coffee producer in Africa. Speaking during a public sensitization forum in Likuyani constituency, cooperatives and MSMEs Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya say that coffee production in Kenya has drastically dropped over the last 20 years. At the same time, the CS reiterated that the government will enhance the capacity of cooperative societies, which will play a key role in educating farmers on the benefits of coffee.
Nataka tupande kahawa nyingi na wale ambao wana kahawa wakuwe na mazao kabisa. Kwa sababu mwaka uliopita Kenya iliuza tani 51,000. Na ukienda kama Uganda inauza tani 700,000. Na Kenya hapo zamani ilikuwa mbele kuliko Uganda. Sasa ile iko number 1 Afrika mzima na Ethiopia. Namba 2 Uganda. Kenya tuko hapa namba 7, namba 8. Lakini miaka 20 iliyopita Kenya ilikuwa number 1. Nini ilifanyika? Wakati nilikuja hapa 2015 kuja kuishi hapa Likuyani, watu humu ilikuwa natembea humu naona watu wanapanda kahawa. Siku hizi siwaoni kwa sababu hatukuwa na mafunzo kamili, hatukuwa na cooperative kamili za kuleta sisi pamoja ili tupate mafunzo na tujue kahawa yetu inaenda wapi.
This is an economic revolution. It's an economic revolution. Uchumi ya watu wetu itabadilika. Na mimi nakuhakikishia waziri kwamba mimi nitatembea na viongozi wengine na hawa wakulima na cooperative zetu kuhakikisha kwamba hii mambo ya kahawa take off.
Kahawa iko na pesa. Na pana pesa dola. Sema dola. Hakuna kilimo Kenya watu wanalipwa kwa dola isipokuwa nini? na nyinyi msibaki nyuma.
Now, farmers in Narok North Sub-County have received over 14,000 kilograms of free sunlight seeds from the national government that is expected to substitute the type of crops planted in the county. While launching the distribution of the seedlings at the National Cereals and Produce Board, Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu said the objective of the initiative is to reduce the current cost of importation of edible oils, as the national government uses about 117 billion shillings annually to import edible oils.
Na unajua hii kitu 1978 ilikuwa inakuswa Narok and it was doing very well. Lakini adui mkubwa wa hii kitu ni kitu inaitwa ndege. Na Madam CS ni shahidi ya kwamba hata ngano tumeshindwa kulima kwa sababu hata mwaka kesho kama hamjaua ndege, kama wakulima ya ngano hatutapanda. Heri tuongee ukweli. Mwaka kesho hatutapanda ngano kwa sababu tumekuwa na changamoto. Wakulima wengi wale wako hapa wanajua umepanda ngano na hujafuna hata gunia 2 kwa eka kwa sababu ya kitu inaitwa kuelea. Yes. Na hii sunflower ndio adui mkubwa wa ndege, hata kuliko hata ngano. Kweli. Kwa hivyo kama serikali mimi ningeona ingekuwa ni muhimu mungeelimisha kwanza wakulima, mtuambie hii sunflower ni aina gani, inakuzwa namna gani, kama iko na dawa ya kupalilia, kwa sababu kama itatumia manpower then hiyo ni gharama extra. Na baada ya kukuza hii sunflower tutauza wapi na tutauza na pesa ngapi? Ndio kama wakulima tuwe na hiyo moral ya kusema wacha tulime kwa sababu itatufaidi.
And now to some sporting action. Harambee Stars have ended their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers with a 0-0 draw against Namibia at the Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, South Africa. The result leaves Kenya in third place in Group J with 6 points, while Namibia stays at the bottom with 2. Kenya will now focus on their 2026 World Cup qualifiers, starting with a match against Gambia in September next year. Meanwhile, questions still remain about the future of Kenyan football and head coach Injin Firat. It's quite unfortunate that our fellow neighbors, Uganda and Tanzania, have all qualified for the AFCON 2025, but we have not qualified for that. Still many questions linger about what's happening in the Kenyan football, but we hope that in 2027, Kenya will be ready to host the AFCON 2027 because Uganda, Tanzania are also hosting. We also hope that we'll be ready when that time comes. Well, that come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you making time to watch Hope TV News Watch. We really do appreciate the value of your time. On behalf of the amazing team led by my director, Kifwe, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kimani. Signing for us tonight has been Boniface Morelli.